Today we're on a pilgrimage celebrating 30 years of FARA. For me, I can't believe it because I came 30 years ago and many of these children and young people were in institutions with abuse and neglect.
Between 1974 and 1989, Romania was under communist rule with its leader Nicolae Ceausescu as president. Under Ceausescu, both abortion and contraception were forbidden. He believed that population growth would lead to economic growth. Birth rates rose and people were even taxed for being childless. The financial pressure of having large families resulted in many children being abandoned in state-run institutions. They were subjected to institutionalised neglect, physical and sexual abuse, and drug use to control behaviour.
We didn't know in communist time about orphanages. Probably we knew there are orphans, the state looked after them, but the condition was absolutely like in a Nazi camp. They was keeping 2 or 3 in a metal bed, sometimes with no mattress, definitely not sheets, full of excrement, not fit enough. I can't understand how a woman can treat the children in such a way.
Civil unrest began in 1989 after years of financial hardship and poverty imposed by Nicolae Ceausescu.
The last year of Ceausescu, it was so hard to find eggs, to find milk, even vegetables, even onion, even carrots, and because nothing was working properly, only the propaganda. The population was very annoyed with Ceausescu and his group of very, very powerful men who lead the country, and they control practically everything.
The revolution of 1989 toppled the leadership of Ceausescu, and he and his wife were both executed. For the first time, the Western media exposed the true horror of neglect of the children within the institutions.
What's in this room, no one could prepare for. Filthy, dark and stinking. There's excrement everywhere. These boys are the most difficult cases. They deserve the best of care. Instead, they get the worst.
I'm Jane Nicholson, and I went to Romania 30 years ago when I saw the terrible pictures and images of children suffering in institutions in Romania that came on the television. Having gone to Romania, I worked myself directly in the institutions, and I realised that I've never seen such suffering in my life. And I knew that I would never leave the children in Romania. And so the same year I founded the charity. I was inspired by my faith and was sure that that was where I was called to be. I was already working in charity work. I was already very involved. I was a trained nurse specialising in children at Great Ormond Street Hospital, and then I joined the Sue Ryder Foundation, of where for 14 years I was a trustee and I was head of Sue Ryder. So I had great experience working with the sick in UK, but also in Eastern Europe and Central Europe. I felt that I have to be here for them, to do something about it, but not just to be there, and there's a different way. It's because they broke the family unit in Romania. So the connection between the family and the love from a family wasn't there at all, from babies. They didn't touch them, so it was completely broken. And a lot of people were very overpowered in Romania by it. They couldn't take it, face it, but I didn't feel that. I thought, no, I'm there for a reason and we'll take it from here.
The international response to the news was huge, with many countries donating aid in the form of toys, clothes and aid workers to help clean and repair the facilities in the institutions.
They all wanted to go in to help and give things, you know, but they didn't know what to do, even when they got there, because it was a very overpowering situation when you get into an institution of 200. So it wasn't as easy as it sounded.
Jane and her team worked for 7 years in the institutions, and gradually an alternative approach emerged.
The thing that came to me was, yes, this is absolutely appalling. I can't. It's not solve all this. It's It's an aid thing, but it's not entirely. This is years of work and taking the Romanian people on side. The only bit I thought I could do is I would set up the charity, and from the institutions that I was working in, I would set up a family home to take a range of children like a family out.
It's July 2021 and 30 years since Jane started the FARA charity.
You're good?
She and her team are on a field trip visiting some of the now 18 family homes, centres and programmes. FARA's mission is to create families for the most vulnerable and disadvantaged children and young people. This home, St Nicholas, is the very first home the FARA charity created.
So this was where we had the first home. So we all together from here planned that as first home. St Nicholas, I thought, some gifts for children.
Jane hasn't been able to visit because of the COVID-19 pandemic.
I haven't seen anybody for 2 years.
And the children want to surprise Jane and the team with a play. It's their rendition of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Some of these children were here from near the beginning, but little by little I've come back for the last 30 years, every 3 months to Romania. It's like a second home. And of course always to St Nicholas. The years that we started, and then we grew and we grew and we grew to whatever the need was in the area. So from one small home, we have taken care of over 10,000 children and young people, youth in Romania up to now.
These children have all found a home in St Nicholas, but in their early years, all of them will have experienced trauma in some way.
A part of them, they were physically abused, some part only verbal abuse, but it's a black spot in their heart. We help every day, but sometimes the trauma they lived in the first years of life, it's appear again and again in their lives. They are fighters all and give us lessons about life every day.
St Nicholas is a warm and comfortable home with shared rooms which the children are encouraged to personalise for the duration of their stay.
We grow up these kids like our kids, and what I give to my kids, I give to those kids.
Teaching the children and young people the skills to live an independent life is also an important part of the ethos of the home.
We only help them, they do everything, beds, washing, after dinner or after lunch they wash the dishes and to do everything, because in life you have to do this. And this is one of our priority, to be tidy, to be respectful, to not only for the house. They are very, very, very good children. This is our motto, and for St. Nicholas house. Peace for those who came in this house, joy for those who stay, and blessed for those who go away. Thank you.
the plates are all the children, are named of the children that have been in St. Nicholas. And from the beginning, which it opened in 97, because we have small home, you can see them right through. It's 42 children have been in St. Nicholas. And really, it's a really amazing, I think, accomplishment by the Romanian people, the way they take care of them, the way they've learnt and engaged with them and loved them, and they've been to all the local schools. So there's nothing different. We want inclusion in this country, you know.
Dana is a former resident of St. Nicholas and left at the age of 20. Her first child was born with a heart defect and needed a healthy environment to aid his recovery. FARA supported her by offering to house her in this simple but comfortable house.
Nu știu motivul. Motivul din ce știu că am fost dată la protecția copilului, pentru că aveam probleme de sănătate și fiind o familie numeroasă, părinții nu lucrau. Evoluția mea în FARA a început în momentul în care am ajuns la centrul Sfântul Nicolae și am stat până la vârsta de 20 de ani. Am învățat, am terminat și liceul, am reușit să absolv și bacalaureatul, iar apoi am decis să-mi întemeiez o familie.
I just feel that she's done so well over, you know, to come here and set up, and she has no support from her own family. They won't speak to her. But I think this is wonderful. That's why she's part of FARA. And if we can give a young person a chance in life, which she wouldn't have had at all, because she was in institution, and she came from FARA happy and felt loved and part of it. And it's lovely to see a family.
Over the past 30 years, the situation in the country has changed and developed, and so has the role of FARA. The charity now supports any poor and marginalised child, not just those from institutions.
This is our Tackling Poverty Through Education programme in the rural areas and villages of northeast Romania. We started this programme 2005 in the villages because there was no access for education and social support for children to attend school.
To try and break the cycle of poverty, FARA provides additional teaching and a nutritious meal each day for the children of this school and 6 other schools in the poorest part of Romania.
FARA schimbă și de-a lungul anilor s-a văzut lucrul ăsta, pentru că sunt copii care merg în ciclu gimnazial, avem copii care ajung și în ciclu liceal și îl termină. Deci undeva nu se oprește educația doar la școala primară.
With the help of FARA, these children can be integrated into society, because when they came to us, they didn't even know what a knife and fork was, and the food was just a pot of sort of soup made with sort of weeds and this sort of thing. So you can't work if you have no nutrition. So it's very important to break this cycle of poverty, to give them a hope in life. And now you will see this, they can use knives and forks, eat properly at a table. They don't have a table to eat at in the houses. So it's real transformation that we're achieving.
Despite being a member of the European Union since 2007, the country has large numbers of people living in desperate poverty. FARA has helped this family by securing a better standard of housing for them, as well as educating and feeding the children.
Înainte condițiile au fost foarte grele și acum sunt tot mai bune. Au fost timpurile mai grele, nu aveam condiții la copii. Copiii nu aveam chiar cu ce să-i purtăm la școală, Timpurile foarte rele au fost. Mulțumim frumos pentru Fundația FARA și suntem bucuroși cu toți că suntem familia unită lângă noi și să fie în continuare tot așa cum au rămas până atâția ani de când au început cu programul.
Here in the medieval castle overlooking the city of Suceava, staff, children and friends of FARA in the Suceava region have gathered to celebrate 30 years of work by the charity. And for another special reason.
For the mayor of Suceava to present me on behalf of the work of FARA in Romania, to be an honorary citizen of Suceava County.
It's very important to Jane and the FARA team that the care work in the projects is done by the Romanian people and that the charity is trusted by the communities that it works in. And this accolade demonstrates that the people of Romania have accepted the work of the charity.
I think it's too unbelievable because I keep looking back while they were performing, and I find this is amazing. And I feel it's almost not my work, but my work through God, in this place and where I was chosen to go, because the happiness of all the children, the staff, and even the officials and everybody are so grateful that they were able to help their own people, because it's not we've come in to take over or anything. It's all with Romanians, and it was just for me very moving and just wonderful. So I was very happy.
For vulnerable children with physical disabilities or special educational needs, FARA has 3 therapy centres. This is the St. Teresa Therapy Centre in Folticeni, which is in a predominantly poor area of northeast Romania.
The activities that go on here are physiotherapy, sensory therapy, and for children with special needs there's learning so that they can have education, because it's not available to have education in Romania unless we can get them to a standard they can go into schools.
Children with physical disabilities or special educational needs must pay to access care and provision from the state. With 45% of children in Romania living below the poverty line, FARA offers this care free of charge for families living in poverty. Alicia's mum, Simone, has seen profound changes in both herself and Alicia since attending the centre.
Au fost schimbări enorme, a ajutat-o foarte mult atât pe ea cât și pe mine, ca părinte. De foarte multe ori am avut nevoie de sprijin din partea doamnelor, să știu și să învăț și eu cum să mă comport cu ea. A avut foarte mult de câștigat, foarte mult, prin comportament. Deci a dispărut frica. A început să fie un pic mai ordonată, au învățat lucruri noi pe care cu mine acasă nu învață nimic. Acum am ajuns la un nivel foarte, foarte bun. Am început să ne pregătim pentru școală, deși vă spun sincer, n-am crezut că o să ajung așa, la nivelul ăsta, așa de repede.
Mă simt pentru că pot să-i ajut și lupt pentru asta. Pentru că dacă noi nu le oferim suportul, pentru că sunt foarte mulți părinți care cu siguranță le e greu tuturor. Pentru că este greu să stai cu un copil cu dizabilități 24 din 24. Și noi încercăm să le oferim minimul, că nu putem să spunem că le oferim maximul. Ne-am dorit, dar nu avem cum. Să le oferim minimul de suport. Când vezi copilul recuperat și zâmbetul părinților, nu poți să simți decât bucurie, fericire, că le poți fi alături.
Jane and the team are nearing the end of their field trip, but have 2 more homes to visit. They are FARA's Homes for Life, which contain 20 young people, 10 in each. The first home we visit is Elizabeta House.
It's a house we built, and it's in northeast Romania in the shrine village of Cacica.
All the young people there are in their 20s, and some of them have spent many years in institutions due to their mental health problems.
There is a problem with several of them because some of them have mental health problems, schizophrenia, some on the autism spectrum, and not really physical disabilities. They were abandoned as babies, most of them, and many of them have been many years in the institution, and this is the first time that they've been able to have a sort of a life outside, otherwise they would be in institution for life. We tried to rehabilitate, but they can't recover really. And so they don't know what family is, they don't know what affection is, they don't know. So the most important thing is to have this sort of family, and we have very caring, like house mothers and local people from the village, and they're very much part of it. There are no other NGOs or possibilities for them in Romania, so really they've been rescued.
It's not untypical for the mental challenges that the young people face to be expressed creatively. Florin draws seemingly endless quantities of traditional Romanian artwork while vocalising his thoughts and feelings repetitively. He spent many years in one of the worst institutions.
Florin was many years in an institution, and one of the worst institutions in Romania. And having been rescued by FARA, he has mental health problems, so his obsession with what has happened to him. So he feels that he's now secure, even though he drives everybody mad in here with repeating, because he can't not, it's part of what he does. But we're very fond of him. Come here. And we love Florin.
The second home for life is St Maria and is home for a further 10 young people.
We wanted to do a model of care that could be repeated by others, but it requires a lot of love and a family that they've never had. FARA is a family for those without. And so we create a family, and that's the model that we feel that will work with, that works. So we love and care for them here, and they're great. They grow all their own vegetables, make all their food, and they're part of the local community. They're all involved with the church here, and so it's a very happy setup. For me, it's a miracle, having seen them in the institution.
Even after all this time, therapy continues with the young people and is interwoven into the simple tasks of daily life.
They're preparing some bread. They like to work a lot with their hands. And Mrs. Anna, she is working in the kitchen, so she's like to teach them more skills and much more interaction.
The young people here are making crafts that can be sold in for Easter, and usually for Christmas they take them to the markets or the churches. But it makes them feel like it's work, and it's worth being able to work like other people. So they have set times in the day that they're doing the work in the workshop. Gabby. I'm giving medals out for 30 years for the young people at St Mary's Home.
Bravo, Valerio!
Valerio. I'm very, very moved and quite emotional about him because I brought him from the institution and he always remembers me, but he can't speak. So I'm very grateful that we have him with us.
It's unclear what the future would have been for these young people if they hadn't been found by FARA.
Tinerii, dacă nu ar fi fost aici, nu ar fi fost sprijiniți, nu aveau nevoie de noi. Ar fi rămas probabil pe drumuri, să zic așa.
35-year-old Eugen Mogos finds meaning and purpose in his responsibility for cleaning the bathroom and toilet facilities. As a child, he had medical issues with his legs that required many operations and was passed around from state institution to state institution until FARA found him.
Și părinții mei pe mine când m-au născut, m-au abandonat într-un centru, unde acolo am fost luat de niște oameni de servicii sociale din Giurgiu. Am avut o copilărie destul de tristă. În familie FARA a rămas viitorul, eu îl văd destul de bine. Vreau să vă spun, mi s-au deschis o ușă. Am simțit că în momentul acela când mă primești niște oameni, că pot lucra ca fiind persoană și cu dizabilitate și nu sunt marginalizat.
Just speaking about his journey to FARA, even for a few moments, fills Eugen with emotion. It's the end of the team's field trip, and a short pilgrimage to the local church marks FARA's 30th year of work with abandoned, vulnerable children and young people in Romania. It also signifies a change in Jane's role within the charity she created. The day-to-day administrative leadership of FARA that Jane has worked so hard at for the last 30 years is being handed over to a leadership team. This will enable Jane to focus her efforts on the development of Romanian carers in the country, ensuring that Romanian people care for Romanian children. This concept is a key foundation for the long-term health of the charity and a cornerstone on which Jane wants to secure the long-term future of FARA. Jane's role will shift from administration and management in order to seek God's will for the long-term direction of the charity.
The work I feel now is at a point will absolutely continue, and I don't see any concern about. I've set the values, I've set the sort of inspiration and everything, and I feel that it'll go forward. So I can just be sitting praying somewhere because I do feel that they've really. This is a time for that.
The current in-country director of FARA, Ines, reflects on this change.
It's a time when she feels that she has to empower the Romanians and the team in Romania to make sure that the programs and the activities will be carried out in the same way and even in a better way, increasing and reaching a bigger number of people. It's difficult for me to believe and to realize that it's been so long time working in FARA, and in the gathering like today, I feel that the work is very valuable and it's very worth it doing it. And yeah, I feel I can be committed to another 30 years.